Good evening everyone. If you don't know, you should know. My name is Ramesh Khan and I am a filmmaker and a film critic, and today's movie is The Justice League of America.
Shall we?
The Justice League movie is as forgettable as Thor Ragnarok, whereas the problems in Thor Ragnarok were the inconsistencies in the characters compared to previous iterations of the film, such as the Hulk becoming a comedy relief character. Really? The problems in Justice League are that it is too consistent to a fault, to a formula, if you will. And it's understandable as to why they went the formulaic route after that massive dumpster fire known as Batman v Superman. Batman v Superman was a film full of unnecessary subplots, so you would want to tone down the subplots to a minimum. The Justice League movie doesn't have you going, huh? As much. In fact, even toddlers and mongoloids can follow this movie with utter ease. And that is probably the biggest problem of the film. It's too simplistic. There are no complexities to anything. Mike Stoklasov, one of my favorite channels, Red Letter Media, called this movie a Saturday morning cartoon. I couldn't be inclined to agree more. This would have been an incredible movie if it came out in the mid-90s, story-wise and CGI-wise. The CGI of this film is absolutely horrid. It belongs in a video game, especially that character, the villain, the main villain of the movie, Steppenwolf. He looks like he just stepped out of a video game. Remember Road Rash? He looks like something from Road Rash. Whereas Batman v Superman had no reason or right to tackle such complex ideas as Superman's place in this earth. It was too early for that since we had only seen Superman in one movie. However, Justice League could have done a lot of cool stuff with Superman since, you know, he was abruptly killed off in Batman v Superman. They could have done a lot of really cool stuff with Superman's body. There could have been a whole subplot around that, such as who gets Superman's body? Does the government get it like they did with Zod? Why would they want it? For obvious reasons. Nothing interesting or spectacular is done with the Death of Superman arc, an arc which was not earned to be told in the previous film, by the way. I just find it really hard to feel bad for a character who I've only seen for one previous film. I cried in Logan because I had been seeing that character for 17 years and his send-off was magnificently done. I can't cry for a guy who was killed by a CGI monster who was on screen for even less time than our protagonist. As I said earlier, the story is too simplistic. Steppenwolf is on the Earth to find 3 MacGuffins and then, you guessed it, take over the world.
Of course!
I had to borrow that joke from Doug Walker. The best parts of the movie come when the team are bickering against each other. One of the best scenes of the movie is when Aquaman is pouring his heart out, which takes a comedic twist in the film. Another great scene is the opening of the film, the intro of the film, which has Zack Snyder written all over it. The man has a penchant of giving us these spectacular intros. And this time he chooses a song to show us the credits, and that song is a cover of a Leonard Cohen song. But the other scenes fall completely flat. The recruiting of the League is completely boring and uninspired. The movie could have started with the team already recruited, in my opinion, because the recruiting is not fun to watch at all. And the action is uninspiring and boring as well, partly because of the absolutely terrible cinematography when it comes to action sequences. I'm not sure who shot this, but Batman v Superman was shot by Larry Fong, and that was a very good-looking movie in my eyes, but this one not so much. And it also has to do with the meddling, I guess, with the CGI, because the frame is cluttered with this mixture of movement, bright colors, lens flares, and the lightning that leave from the flash. It's jarring and doesn't give the audience time to react at all. The best sequence action-wise is when Superman comes back to life and has none of those crazy-ass lightning effects and mixtures and ton of movement. That scene is also fantastic story-wise and acting-wise, which made the action better automatically. If I am invested in the story, I am automatically going to be invested in the action. The other scenes, not so much. I don't care about Steppenwolf as a villain, but Superman as a villain is kind of interesting. That should have been the whole film. I know I said in my Batman v Superman review and my What Went Wrong with Batman v Superman video that the Injustice arc would be terrible, but looking at what they went with Steppenwolf, you know, I'm gonna eat my words. I think if they went the Injustice route, Could have been kind of cool. It would have been cooler than this. Surprisingly, however, is how consistent this film is. Two people directed this, Zack Snyder and Joss Whedon. I couldn't tell who directed bulk of the scenes. A few of them are very obvious, such as the comedy banter between the team. It flows really well, and it doesn't feel like a mixed product. It doesn't feel like Superman 2. The Justice League movie is clearly a disappointment, and the best superhero team and the most well-known superhero team in the world does not deserve this treatment. Warner Brothers Studios clearly have no idea and no vision of what they want to do with their cinematic universe. They're just reacting to what Marvel is doing. Marvel's making a Guardians of the Galaxy movie, and that's profitable? Alright, let's make a Suicide Squad movie, load it up with comedy, when these characters don't have the penchant for comedy. Oh, Marvel's getting a lot of success with these massive team-up movies like the Avengers? Alright, let's make a Justice League movie without giving each character their own previous stories before. It's like a race with only one participant. Warner Brothers and DC Comics were never in the game to begin with. 2 out of 5 for the Justice League. The 2 out of 5 I gave to the Justice League movie is the same rating I would give to Thor Ragnarok, by the way. That film is full of issues which are masked over by its humor, and somehow people and critics are willing to give it a pass. No, no, no. Thor Ragnarok is a pathetic movie as well. And if you like Thor Ragnarok, you should have no reason to not like the Justice League movie as well. I will not be unfair or impartial to one cinematic universe. Since we're nearing the end of the year, this only proves one thing, that nothing will supersede Logan as the best superhero movie of 2017. That film still holds up. That is one film I still watch on my laptop, and you should too. Instead of watching the Justice League and Thor Ragnarok, buy Logan on Blu-ray. Thank you so much for watching, people. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe, but until next time, remember to love yourselves.
Everybody knows